been a while, man. It had to be a while for it to take a while. Oh, mate. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's been a while. But yeah. Life has been lifing. Life has been lifing. So many different things going on, so many different changes, problems with business, problems with work, problems with family, close ones, loved ones. But obviously, like anybody would say, innit, that's life, innit? And obviously, man's just been navigating that. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute. But like, yeah, let me go straight into it. So, I'm gonna use ChatGPT for this, and I'm gonna look at the definition of change. Change. So obviously, chat asked me, could I clarify what I mean by change? Obviously, yeah, specific concepts. Okay. What does it mean for someone or something to... No, what does it mean when somebody changes? When somebody changes or people change. Let me ask chat that. You know, chat loves being prompted. Chat loves being prompted. So it says when people say people change or somebody changes, it usually means that a person has gone through some kind of internal or external transformation. This can refer to many things such as changes in personality or behavior. Someone becomes more patient, confident, responsible, or kind, or they might become more distant, irritable, or distracted. Changes in belief or values. A person might see the world differently as they gain new experiences. Their priorities shift. Emotional or psychological growth. Maturing, healing from past pain, learning to understand themselves or others better. Changes caused by life events. Like I said, life has been life in relationships, loss, trauma, success, major events. Obviously, I had a death in the family. Changes in interests or goals. You know, you might have an interest in one thing one time and then it changes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, chat says in simple terms, when people change, it means they grow, evolve, or shift in ways that make them different from who they used to be. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. You know? So, obviously, a lot of change has happened. Not just for me, but people around me, people I've seen, people I used to talk to, people that I'm on and off with, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wanted to talk about change. Change is funny, you know, because sometimes we don't like it. Sometimes we're afraid of it. Sometimes we run from it. Sometimes we don't like when someone changes on us. Sometimes the pain we have to go through during change is not a pain we like. Do you get what I mean? So the reason I started talking about this is because last week? I think 2 weeks ago, one of my old friends asked me to drop them at the airport. I dropped them at the airport, yeah. While I was dropping them at the airport, I hadn't seen them for time. They got a U as well. I hadn't seen them for time. I saw them and their U, and I remember, obviously, when I say I hadn't seen them for time, like I've seen them in the last like year or something. But what I'm comparing this to is was it 3 years? Was it COVID 2021? 2021 times to now, 4 years, yeah? I saw both of them and they just look different. And I'm thinking, rah, this is crazy. This is crazy because, like, it's not a judging thing, but like when I looked at them before, those like 4 years ago, I was like, rah, nah, this is mental. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't want to talk too much because they could be watching. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And the clock is them. But like the transformation I saw, when I saw them this time, I'm thinking, rah, that is mad. That is wild. That's crazy. So obviously, I'm talking about physical change. In this sense, I'm talking about physical change. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is mad. And I'm thinking, how did that happen? Obviously, I'm not going in too much detail, and I'm thinking, how did that happen? Obviously, I know how it happened. Like, do you know what I'm saying? In the sense where if like it changed your physical, someone could either do something good to make their physical good, do something bad to make their physical bad, put on weight, lose weight, you know, fix up how they dress, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want, you know what I'm trying to say, I don't want no one to come at me, you know what I'm trying to say. But obviously I saw this difference, I was thinking, raw, this is the person and the you that I saw like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And now I see them, I'm like, raw, this is a mad change. This is crazy. And then that now started leading me into thinking bare deep about change and all this madness. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's like change. Change is funny. I was going to say change is actually a very good thing. But at the same time, it can be a very bad thing. In their circumstance, for me, I think it's really a good thing because obviously the mentality is changing as well from the conversations I was having with them as well. I was thinking, raw. That is one thing, I'm not going to lie. The mentality one, not the physical appearance, the mentality one was one I was like, this person will never change. That's one thing I said, and I made judgment and I ruled, and I said like a judge, and I ruled and said, this person will never change, but this person changed. I was thinking, raw. So not only the physical, but the mental. I was thinking, raw, this is crazy. If this person could change, anyone could. I already knew that anybody could change, but sometimes when it's like so close to home, and you're seeing something on a man thing every day, like, nah, never. But then when they change, you're like, raw. Change is powerful, man. Anybody can change. Anybody can grow. You can also change for the bad as well. Sorry, I said that again because I don't know if you can hear. You can also change for the bad as well. Change is good and bad, depending on what happens in that change. So, just before that, I started changing. Well, I didn't really change, but I've always been like what I'm trying to do. So basically, already that a lot of the stuff I do, react to things like pop the balloon, comedy, all this kind of stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But like, I'm really a deep person. You know what I mean? I'm really a deep person. And like, at times, you feel like the things that people like the most, will be what will get you to a certain level or help you in a certain field that you're in. Obviously, I'm doing YouTube, right? So you would think what's got the most hype right now on YouTube, right, would be like things like pop the balloon, things that are funny, all this kind of stuff. So in that sense, jumped into it. The pressure was like, yeah, obviously I'm a character. Do you get what I mean? And I like that stuff. I like making people laugh, whatever. But at my core, I'm very, very deep. So I was like, let me just do that. React to funny things, whatever. Post it on there, do this kind of stuff. Make people laugh. Be like, this person's a joker. This person's a clown. But then it's like, remember I told you life has been lifing. So with the things happening in my life, things happening around me, business, work, everything, and then family, lost a family member, all this stuff, I started really seeing that, yeah, I'm actually really deeper than, this stuff that I'm putting out on YouTube. So before I saw this individual and their child, I was already changing in a sense where I was like, yeah, I want to change what I'm doing on YouTube. I want to really, delve into the deep aspect of things, which is what I love doing. So that's what prompted me to do this video. I used, that individual as an example, but this all along, this had to do with me. I'm changing. When I say I'm changing, I'm kind of changing in a sense where I'm realizing that you should stick to what you really love the most. You know, to say like what's in your core, that's what you should do. And I'm a deep thinker. I like to analyze. I get, philosophical with it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Psychological aspects, the human mind, the human anatomy, the human brain. I'm not a psychologist per se, but I can pass off as one, because people come to me anyway to talk about how they feel, that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, so I came to that realization. I was like, boom, this is what I need to do, man. So yeah, that's the change. That's why I call this video change, because change has come. I'm changing the videos I do, all that stuff. I'm going to what I really believe in, what I really love. And obviously, when I saw that person, that was like, rah, like, can be a good thing. And this is a good thing for me. So, like, yeah, man, anybody going through change right now, you're finding it hard, or people around you are changing, someone that's very close to you that's changing, and you don't know how to deal with it, I'm not going to lie. People around you are changing. It's not easy. Some people become distant. Some people become close because they're changing. They're trying to improve themselves, or they're getting worse. It's hard, especially when it's those that you love. They're in a relationship, you're married, whatever. It's hard. But that's why communication is key. And then at the same time, if you're changing as well and people around you are getting onto you saying you're this, you're that, at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you. If it's good change, then that's fine. If it's bad change, then hey, you need to look at yourself. But change is a good thing. At the same time, it's a bad thing. You need to really analyze and really think about it and pray about it. Obviously, you know who I believe in. I believe in Jesus. That's my thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not somebody that goes, oh yeah, look within, sit down, look within. Obviously, you should be introverted, but if you're just introverted and using yourself and using your own decisions, using your own, your own analysis only, and deciding this is good, this is bad, then most times you're failing, because at the end of the day, you're not the only human being in the world. You're not the smartest. You don't know the most. You don't know everything. That's why, like I said, I use Jesus, because like he knows everything, in my opinion, in my belief, in my faith. You know what I'm trying to say? The only other way, if you want to do, if you don't believe, is go to speak to every single person around you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or your work colleagues, your business colleagues, everybody you meet, and ask them as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, you always get something different from you and them. So yeah, change is good. And that's why I call this video change, because obviously I'm changing. And I've noticed things around me are changing, people around me are changing. It's still hard to kind of get used to, change that's going on, because some people just change on you. Last second, without saying anything, you thought, yeah, this was going to go down. Like, oh, I'm changing. It's like, right, okay, cool. It is what it is. But I think one of the biggest things for me, and maybe it's for people as well, I think my thing is not even changing that is going to be hard. My thing is I'm a people's person that I always like to put people before myself. So when I'm changing, I always think, if I change though, this person's not going to see me as much. They're not going to talk to me as much, because I'm going to be doing the inner work. I'm going to be spending more time on my vision, my purpose, the things I need to do. What if they say I'm neglecting them, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was a big fear for me. But it's like, I don't care no more. If you're for me, you're for me. If you love me, you love me. If I see you, I see you. If you don't see me, you don't see me. If you feel it's neglect, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, in my life, I think I've had to take the brunt of people changing, and I've accepted it. So when am I gonna, look out for myself? Not to say be selfish, still help when you can. But like at times, if you're just all the time not changing, because you always need to try to people please and be there for everybody all the time, life is just going to keep going on. By the time you're going to be 50, by the time you know you're going to be 50, 60, 70, and you're just going to have lived your life for everybody, because you didn't want to change, because you're fearful of what people think of you, and they won't like you, and they'll say you're fake, or they'll say, oh, you're not there, blah, blah, blah. And the things you wanted to do, you're not going to do them, because you've always tried to make sure you're trying to do your thing and do the thing where you're helping others and being there for others at the same time. Imagine you're being there for like 20 people at the same time trying to do your thing. Your thing is going to get neglected, because you need to put energy in people, yes, but then you need to be replenished as well. What time do you have to yourself? So yeah, change, people, change. Change for the good, man. Change is good. It's hard, takes time, but yeah, we got to do it, man.